A abrupt emergency. We are wrestling.
I think there's a lot of issues with that company.
They're going all in for these documentaries.
I want to be champion. I want to be the one to carry that flag.
Hate being a wrestling fan and love being a wrestling fan sometimes, but realize we're all just selfish pricks.
It's business.
So when guys start getting released and stuff, I got questions that need to be asked.
We are Wrestling Extra.
What is up? We are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide. I'm the host with the most, Mr. We Are Wrestling himself, the best one, Donnie, here with...
What's going on, everybody? I'm the voice of the faithful for Blitzkrieg Pro, Phil Mcmanus, now known as the Chicken Guy.
That's right, and today's extra isn't anything wrestling newsworthy. Instead, I decided let's have Phil talk about his Wheel of Fortune experience, because in case you've been hiding under a rock, this guy was on Wheel of Fortune for the special Disney episode, and there's a lot to talk about because Phil has been making some news headliners. But before we get into all the good stuff, if you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already and you're listening to this extra that's not wrestling related, give us a 5-star review, not just any review, a best one review, and download the episode. Give us a follow. If you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already over on the YouTube channel, recommend you guys to hit that subscribe button now, turn on the post notifications. Videos be coming out of nowhere like an RKO. And of course, you already know, the grind is real.
Sure is, Donnie. It sure is. And so is that intro. It's so real.
So the first thing I got to ask you, Phil, before we dive into your experience for Wheel of Fortune, I do have a couple We Are Wrestling Maniacs that have been asking me, how can they watch you on Wheel of Fortune?
You can find it on YouTube. Just search for the December 17th episode, or you can go to any pretty much major news website and just, look for a Wheel of Fortune headline. And unfortunately, but fortunately, it's going to be this guy right here.
Yeah, so there is ways to find Phil on the episode of Wheel of Fortune. YouTube is a very powerful network, so highly recommend you guys to go check that episode out if you haven't. But let's talk about the experience, because I remember you telling me that you're going on Wheel of Fortune, motherfucker. So I gotta ask you, Phil, what made you decide to apply to Wheel of Fortune?
Man, I'll be honest, dude. It was, I was home, I was bored, I was scrolling through Instagram, and I saw Wheel of Fortune audition. Are you a Disney fan? And I'm like, well, fucking obviously. So I grabbed my camera on my phone, I turned it around, dude, put up the tripod, and I recorded a wrestling shoot style promo of why I was going to be on the show, not just asking to be on there. And I threw on this sweatshirt right here, which became my Lucky Mickey sweatshirt, which my girlfriend Catherine bought me. And I wore this throughout as long as I could because it had good vibes attached to it now. But I sent in that video, dude. I did like 21 fucking takes at home, dude, till I found the perfect one. And I sent it. And then ironically, I deleted the video because I said to myself, I never want to watch this, because I'll probably critique it or hate this part of it or hate that part of it, but I know it's going to work. And dude, sure as shit, man, like a week later, I got an email.
Wow, man, that is absolutely crazy to think about. Like, you see like a thing based off of Disney, and I know how much you love Disney, you love to go to the amusement parks, and even before getting into the professional wrestling business, your whole social media thing was Disney with your daughter. And I remember
Absolutely.
you sharing that with me a lot. And it's so cool that, like, everything in life happens for a reason. And, like, if there was anybody that should have been on that Disney special, it had to be you, man.
Dude, I appreciate that, man. It felt really good. I remember my first audition, I was a one-on-one where you do kind of a practice of like when you're meeting Ryan, what you would say, what you do, who you are. And the producers were super chill. They were like, I like your look. You don't look like a normal type of Disney person kind of vibe. And I'm like, all right, cool, let's see. And then they're like, you're gonna hear back for a second interview maybe pretty soon. And I remember I waited like a week. And I'm like, man, when is that coming? But I just kept doing the whole thing of like, good vibes, man, just good vibes. It's gonna happen. Just let it go, dude. This is step one. You made it to step one. Let's wait on step two, then think about what's gonna happen. That was my whole look at the whole process. So I then got the email, and that one was to do a mock game with like five other people who were gonna audition with you, and then doing your own test of trying to solve a bunch of puzzles. So I did that one, and I won two out of the three, and then I did really well on the other part, and they said, I give your interview again. So I gave my interview again, did my, hey, what's up? I'm Phil, I'm from Palmer, gave my story. And they said, all right, well, we can take up to like 3 months, a month, a year. Maybe you'll hear from us, maybe you won't. So I'm like, all right, I think I made a good impression, dude. Maybe I'll hear back. I'm like, oh man, that's a long window. Dude, that night, 7 o'clock, I got the email. Can you be in LA at this certain time, this certain date? And I'm like, absolutely I can. And yeah, and the rest is the beginning of it. But that was the start. It was just betting on myself. Like it was getting out of my own head and saying, you know what, dude, just send in the video, man. Be you and see what happens. What's the worst that can happen? Nothing. You took 5 minutes of your time.
Exactly, man. And I know like how the interview process is because when I was 18 to 21, I was applying to like a lot of different reality television shows, and I know you do have to go through plenty of interviews and other things to get on. So it looks like Wheel of Fortune, like you had to do like what, like 3 or 4 interviews before getting on?
Yeah, it was about three interviews, man, total. About two, three of them. And once I got past that process, it was like, oh, here's your date. You're gonna be down here. That here's a Sony studio lot, like, and just fly out to LA, go to Hollywood, and let's go have some fun, man.
Hell yeah, man. And like how was like the overall trip going to Los Angeles to tape
Oh,
this
dude.
episode of Wheel of Fortune?
I mean, do you want me to not say it wasn't surreal? I'm like, dude, I get to fly out there, dude, with my girlfriend who equally loves Disney as much as I do, to go not just to Disneyland and to Universal Hollywood, but to go film a Disney themed Christmas episode of Wheel of Fortune. No, bro, it was awful. I mean, dude, it was freaking amazing, dude. Like every part of it was incredible. I just, it was a surreal experience in the fact that even if I walked out with nothing, from where I was 2 years ago to now was such a miracle that like, oh dude, the minute I walked in Disneyland, dude, like it's like I saw the trash can with the Disneyland logo instead of the Disney World logo. Dude, tears right there, man. It was like, holy fuck, dude, like you're here. You're the place you never thought you'd be again. Like, and then you never thought you'd be, because I'd been to Disney World like 16 fucking times, man, but I'd never been to Disneyland. And I always said I'd go to Disneyland, and I had that bucket list, man. And I said, if I beat this, I'm gonna go do these things. Getting back to Disney was in the top of that list, man.
And like I know your history when it comes to Disney, and speaking of your condition, talking about like your health condition, that was one of the first things that was talked about on the Wheel of Fortune show. And I see that a lot of news articles, they're saying that it was cancer. I want you to address that because I think that a lot of people, when you're talking about being in remission, they took it the different route, different way.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, they assumed it was cancer. What it was 2 years ago, I was unfortunately diagnosed with congestive heart failure, but it was not like I got it like it was out of nowhere after a bad bout of COVID pneumonia. I kept getting sinus infections, then regular infections, and at one point my my one emergency room trip turned into them finding it and checking my heart and seeing my EF was at 10 to 12%. Your EF is your ejection fracture. It's how your blood beats through your body. Mine was at the end level, like severe heart failure stage. I gained like 39 pounds of fluid in my body. Um, it was the hardest time of my life, man. I was pretty much bedridden a lot of the times, filled with fluid, on a bunch of new medications, pushed through cardiac rehab. Um, I didn't know at the time if I could ever ride a roller coaster again. It was one of the first questions I asked my doctor. Was I'm addicted to amusement parks. Am I ever going to be able to do that kind of stuff again? Because I know the first thing you see there is heart condition, heart. I'm like, my whole life, man. Like they were talking about defibrillator and everything in my chest and how I wouldn't be able to raise my arm up. And with being a ring announcer, using a microphone, I couldn't bring a microphone near it on that side with only one to use. So I had to make that decision if I wanted to get it or not. And I I lost a lot during that. When I first got diagnosed, my mother died a month later, which came out of fucking nowhere, man, and that hit me like a sack of bricks. And then it just became too much for my partner, and it caused a split up. I mean, even I was pretty much faced with the fact that I was alone now with my daughter and trying to beat something I never thought in a million years someone at my age would have, and plateauing with my EF at 20 to 25 on different medications all the time, trying to find a way of helping it and fixing what was going on. And I mean, I almost lost my house, my car. I was bleeding through all my money, couldn't work, was waiting on going on disability possibly, or seeing if I could do something. It was a very hard time in my life, man. So this past August, I went to the doctors, and for the first time in 2 years, my EF was up to 55, and my heart failure was in remission. It was stopping. And I got to celebrate that by going to see Blink 182
Yep, one of your
a
favorite
few weeks
bands.
before, one of my favorite bands. And earlier that year, I went to WrestleMania 40. And those two things were on my bucket list. And the number one thing was getting back to Disney. So I said, eventually I'm going to find a way to go back to Disney. Like now that I'm better, I have to do it even more. And man, I was talking with Catherine about it, and it was like, man, we're going to manifest a Disney trip somehow. Like somehow we're going to get ourselves to Disney, like to get you that celebration of like having your heart back.
And man, you did it, and you should be really proud of yourself. Like, I remember your goals, and you even said that was the first thing that you said on the Wheel of Fortune show. You said going to WrestleMania, which you did in Philadelphia, WrestleMania 40, going to a Blink 182 concert, your favorite band, and then getting to go to Disney and compete on Wheel of Fortune. And Phil,
Yeah,
man,
and that's the thing.
not
Man, Wheel
only
of
not
Fortune-
only as like your business partner, but as a friend, as a brother, I'm so proud of you and all the things that you've done the last couple of years. Seriously, you should be proud of
Oh,
yourself.
I appreciate that, dude. Like it's hard, like to think about like how much I lost, and but how much I found, and like my friends, like the people that helped, like people like you, my friend Edna, my friend Fred, Catherine. Like I wouldn't be here without him, dude. And without the Blitzkrieg faithful too, man. Like once I got better enough to be able to go back into the ring and ring announce again, still, it's like I felt myself coming back a little bit here, a little bit there, and like I said, man, getting back to Disney was the big thing, but like having it be this way was never the plan. But Jesus, dude, what a way to make it happen, man, right?
Man, everything in life happens for a reason, and it's so cool to see you like going on this journey, getting to be able to experience all of these cool things, especially like going into remission, because I know with like COVID-19, like a lot of people had long-term health effects that are still affecting them to this day.
Yep.
With I know a lot of people in my life that are going through it. I'm sure you know a lot of people as well, and like for you to actually like get your heart like back to the way it's supposed to be, man, don't take that for granted. Like
Dude,
that,
I
you should
don't, man.
be
It's
blessed.
I'm very blessed, man. I have a great team of doctors at Bay State that really helped me out. Dr. Zicatello, an amazing doctor. They tried a bunch of medications, which, dude, I got a bunch of medications I'll be on for the rest of my life. My life's a little different than it used to be, but dude, I tell you what, I got my life back. And I honestly feel like everything I went through really shaped me to be the person I always wanted to be.
And that's the thing, man. Like God, he gives the hardest challenges to the strongest soldiers. And that's something that I've learned throughout my life because I faced a lot of adversity as well growing up, like losing my mom as well. So, like, I know how that feels, what you're going through. And man, like, the way that you keep your head up, very inspiring to a lot of people, man. You should be proud.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that, dude. I really do. Like I said, it's been a journey, man, and the people who were close to me during it mean the world to me. They're beyond family. Um, and the new friends I made along the way. And again, I can't thank the Blitzkrieg faithful enough, man, because they really just made me feel alive again, even at my worst.
Hell yeah. So now, let's like change this into a positive
Oh boy,
interview now. Now that we got all the tears out of your eyes, let's talk
let's do
about the
it.
Wheel of Fortune game show. Let's talk about that experience being on the fucking show. Wheel of
Oh,
Fortune.
bro, let me tell you this, man. I grew up watching Wheel of Fortune like every night with my mother. Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy, dude, and like Vanna, Pat Sajak, all of it, man. Like it was just like, oh, dude, like I'd love to be on a game show. I always knew I'm gonna be on a game show when I'm older. I'm gonna do it. I was like Jeopardy, like I took the Jeopardy test like 3 times, man, and I passed it. I kept missing the chance to go to the next part of the audition because shit kept happening. And then like Wheel of Fortune, God, I saw that. I'm like, dude, fuck this, man. This is like when I realized like I was gonna start just living as much as I could. I had 3 words, man. Do the thing. So it's like when I saw that thing on Instagram, I'm like, fuck it, dude, just make an audition, do the thing. And I remember looking at Catherine saying, this is such a fucking Phil story, like that it's gonna happen. Like, watch. Like, I'm gonna send this wrestling type promo to these guys, and they're gonna put me on the show, and that's how we're gonna get to Disney. Just watch. And dude, and like not even fucking 2 months later, dude, it happened that quick. Like I'm flying down to Los Angeles, man, like getting ready to go to Disneyland and then go on set with Sony in the morning and like tape the Mickey Secret Santa episode of Wheel of Fortune, man. It was surreal, dude. Like the minute you got on set, like I have a photo that Catherine took that it's been in a couple articles already of me walking on the set to it. And dude, it's one of my favorite pictures of all time. Because it's just that moment where it's like I've done some cool shit in my life, but right now this is pretty fucking cool. And the fact that I get a picture of like just the walk into like the story that has now been like fucking everywhere is pretty awesome to know that I have that there. But yeah, dude, like the set was amazing. The people were great. Like the producers were fantastic. Like the whole team was great, dude. It was such a cool experience, man.
I love that. And my dad, he is a huge Wheel of Fortune Jeopardy fan. So when I told him the news that, hey, my co host, Phil Mcmanus, is going to be on one of your favorite shows, Wheel of Fortune, he would not stop asking me, when's the date? When's the date? When's the date? And like when you said, which we're going to get into, when you
Yeah.
said the word chicken, before I could even like have a reaction, my dad is sitting in the room just crying laughing at that.
Woo! Dude,
And it made me
yup.
fucking lose it.
Bro, I wish I had an explanation. I really wish I did. But I'm just sitting there looking at it, and I'm sitting there. You got 3 seconds, man. Like you got like a 3 second window to either guess another letter or guess or like correct a puzzle, or they're gone past you. And I'm looking at this board. I'm like chocolates, chestnuts, food, man. Oh, bro, it's chickens. And I was, bro. I'd love to think that like I didn't. I was so confident, bro, and I shouldn't have been because like. I don't know. It was the dumbest freaking answer, man. But like, it felt so right. Cause I'm like, oh, foods, that makes sense. I didn't even think of the part. I'm like, there's chicken. There's a C. There's an H. There's an N. Let's do it. You love chicken. Chickens it is. So I screamed it out, and like, I knew right then and there. I'm like, that's the dumbest thing you could have ever said. And then when my boy next to me was like, chimneys, I'm like, oh, Christmas puzzle. That makes more sense, Phil. Yep.
Oh man.
I'll never forget it, Donnie. Because I remember afterwards being like, well, that might go viral. Like that was pretty stupid. That might go viral, and
It has.
and here we are today.
Here we are today, and that's the thing, like, I think a lot of people don't understand. Like, when you're in the moment, you're in the moment. And you only
Oh
had like
yeah,
3 to 5 seconds to answer, like, the friggin' word, the phrase. And that's the thing, I feel like a lot of people don't, like, realize, like, how hard something is unless you're
bro.
actually doing it.
I, I'm gonna time you out. I love you for giving me the excuse that you just gave me, but I will tell you this. Like, I don't know if I went there a second time if I would have thought chimneys. And the most validating thing I've seen is some other people saying Chinese food. And I'm like, yeah, right, dude, Chinese food on Christmas. That makes sense, man. I would have said that too, probably. But no, my ass was like chicken. Like, and it's gonna chocolate, chestnuts, and chicken. That is now three words that will define me. It looks like for the rest of my life.
Yes, it is. And I think you need to make yourself some chicken merch pretty soon.
Oh man, I'm thinking like that Beatles
Capitalize on it,
shirt.
Phil.
I'm
That's
telling
one
you, I
thing you
think
and
that
I both know about this business. You got to
absolutely,
capitalize.
absolutely. I've seen people in comments saying make shirts like it's like that the Beatles shirts like Ringo and Paul, and but I'll just have chocolates and chestnuts and chickens. That's it.
Well, let's read some of the tweets and social media
Oh,
posts that people posted, which luckily I was on social media after your episode, so I got some pretty good ones that even the news articles didn't even catch.
oh God.
So here we go. You thought I was gonna just let you go easy. Not today, Junior, not today. So
Oh, how
starting things
thrilling.
off, we got that was on my shopping list last weekend. An ex user wrote, I was screaming at the TV. An Instagram user commented, when I think of chocolates and chestnuts, the next word I think of is chickens. Hashtag Wheel of
Absolutely.
Fortune. All he had to do was ask for a vowel. I'm sorry, but that guy in the middle is dumb. Did he not know he can call a vowel? Treat your treat yourself around to sausages and chicken.
Absolutely, man.
So why
Yep.
didn't like the vowel like come to mind when
Well,
you
no, no, no.
were
Time out, time
on
out, time
there?
out, time out. See, the vowel, that's from when I messed up on the express. That's the thrilling attractions puzzle. That's what that comment's about. That's not about the chickens. The chickens was just me being stupid. The call of vowel thing was when I got stuck on the express and I was like, oh God, what is it? And I could have used another letter. I didn't know I could call a vowel and it would cost me, or I would have called the I and I would have got it, but I didn't remember I could call a vowel. So I just went W, and that's when I went bankrupt on it and lost the entire bout of money, and I lost the trip to Disney World, which that hurt so damn bad, man.
Well, speaking of the express part of the game show, because you spun the wheel and that's what you landed on. So, Wheel of Fortune fans, like all over social media, they've been blaming Ryan Seacrest for you losing over $13,000. During the express round, the letters you chose were C, N, and an H, so that the puzzle reads THR blank 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 N and ATTRACT blank blank NS. You seemed unsure as you paused, and Seacrest could have heard telling you to hurry. Then you correctly added a G and lost it all with the final guess, which was a W. Seacrest took some of the blame from fans who thought the host should have reminded you that you could have bought a vowel. That might have made it clearer that the answer was thrilling attractions. So I gotta ask you, Phil, do you think Ryan Seacrest screwed you?
No, not at all, dude. I we went through a whole process in the beginning where they explained the rules of the game, and that is a rule of the game, and I should have remembered. Now, could he have reminded me? Maybe, dude, if he wanted to, but he that's not his job, dude. His job is to be the host, and mine was to solve the puzzles. And in retrospect, I thought about that one a lot because that one hurt me, dude. It was like, oh God, man, so close. And I rushed. I felt rushed. I felt anxious, dude. I didn't feel confident near the end. That G was like, all right, I bought myself 3 seconds so I can look at that and try and figure it out. And I got so nervous about the clock that I didn't even look at the board with the letters and I just shouted the W. And in retrospect, if I would have saw the L there, I would have called that. Or if I would have known there was a vowel, I would have called the I. But you know, it's not his fault, man. It's pressure, man. It's a high pressure. It's a game show. You know, I'm not going to blame anyone for my misfortune. Would it have been nicer if I would have won and, got that trip back to Disney World? Absolutely, dude. But, in retrospect, I don't blame anybody but myself.
And that's the thing that a lot of people don't realize, because one thing I love outside of pro wrestling is reality television. One of my favorite shows is Survivor on CBS, and a lot of the times during their sit-down interviews that they're doing, the confessionals, a lot of the times they pretty much talk about how it's different being in the game than watching it on television. And I think a lot of people can't, it's hard for them to understand because they're not putting their feet in your shoes, because you're in a very high pressure moment here, and you're not thinking about the simple things. Let's say you're watching the episode of Wheel of Fortune, you probably watched the rest of them during the week, and you're probably sitting there saying, you could have said this or you could have said that, but being there, you don't actually realize. And maybe I know that because I watch a lot of reality television and game shows.
It's weird, man, because I thought while I was there, I was confident, I felt good. I'm like, you're gonna do this, man. This is it. I had a picture of my mother in my pocket, dude. I had a little Disney adorable that my mother, oh my God, that my mother got my daughter Fiona, so I put that in there for her. I absolutely thought I was confident, dude. I felt confident. I felt like I wasn't going to be anxious. Like we did a practice. I felt good. But then in the moment, dude, people saw me on TV. They said, you look so anxious. And I really was there. I wasn't anxious to be on the show or to have cameras on me or to be on set. I was excited about that, man. But when you're in that moment where you're staring at the puzzle and you only have a few seconds and you're on the express, there's so much pressure all at once, dude, that it got the best of me. Absolutely, dude.
Yeah, man, and that's the thing. A lot of people, like I said, they don't really understand it unless they're actually in it. But the fact that you went on the show, that just tells you everything. That takes a lot of balls to get on there and do that, because you never know what the consequences are going to be.
Absolutely, man. And then, I mean, honestly, I never thought in a million years all these people would be covering it. And there's been some really funny comments, like some of the ones you read, but at the same time too, man, I found a lot of people saying things like he's being a good sport about it. He seems pretty fun about this. And it's yeah, I'm leaning right into it, man. It's hilarious. I know it's hilarious and I'm good with that.
And that's the thing too, a lot of people in the entertainment business, they understand what it's like, which is why you're not overreacting about this, you're not overthinking about any of the stuff that's going on. You're used to it.
Yeah, I'm used to that, man. I have a weird life. You don't work in wrestling to be boring. I'm used to weird stuff happening around me at all times. So this was kind of par for the course, man. But I don't know, man. It's all a win. Did it go the way I wanted it to, man? In my head, I'm like, let's make that money back that you lost being sick. Let's get yourself back on track. Let's really move it through so you can do that. No, it wasn't that. But what it was better. It was I got to feel like myself again. I got to dial myself to 11 with a way bigger audience than I'm used to, and I had a great time, man. And I made a memory that will last forever, that my kid will remember forever, that anyone who pretty much knows me will now remember forever, and will live in infamy of one of the worst Wheel of Fortune fails since a rounded sausage.
But man, that is awesome that you were able to do this, and it's awesome. Hey, you even won $2,000, which is better than nothing.
Amen, dude. Amen, man. Some money's better than no money, and like I said, I checked off that bucket list, man, in the most epic way possible, dude. But I'd like to make an announcement here, if I could, at this point, is that I am not done with Wheel of Fortune.
Ooh.
I am going to say right here, right now, that I will be back for redemption. That I will be back to spin that wheel and not say chicken. And I promise you that. That is now my goal. And when I set a goal, I will keep it. My goal right now is to go back, spin that wheel one more time, and walk away with that trip. And I'm telling you all right now, it's going to happen. So, Wheel, if you're watching this, guys, I will be back. I'll be back.
He will be back. And maybe this time, the wheel will stop on that 1 million. maybe.
Oh, let's
You
get
were
that.
really freaking close in that one spin. But you were actually doing really good on the wheel. Like, you were getting, like, really good numbers and stuff, too, throughout the
I
game.
mean, let me tell you this, man. Spinning that thing was so cool. It was so cool. Like, it's one of those things where, like, dude, I just spun the Wheel of Fortune wheel. Like, how many people can say that? Like, it's so crazy. It's so weird. And then, like, just like having that talk with Vanna White about her possibly getting her fresh tattoo, dude. Like, with her daughter being a
Yep,
tattoo
that went
artist.
viral on
Yeah,
their social media page.
exactly, dude. Like, it's just like, I don't know, man. It feels really cool to have people like, really just seeing how funny it is, but at the same time, too, man, like, it's kind of a treat to me as like the end of a journey of like one of the worst times of my life, if not the worst, where I thought I was gonna not be around to see my kid grow up, to now having my kid have her teacher say, "Did your dad really say chicken?"
I didn't even think about it from that perspective.
Neither did she.
Oh man, that is awesome. But Phil, I have the best way that you could possibly redeem yourself here. It's
Oh,
not
oh,
Wheel of Fortune, but it is something very similar to Wheel of Fortune, and that is Hangman.
oh, good God.
Let's redeem yourself, Phil, on this
If
here.
you think
So
I can see that screen,
here, I'm gonna make it bigger for you. I got you. Hold
okay,
up.
yeah, because I'm old. Remember, I'm the
You
old
are,
guy.
yep, you are old.
So we're playing a game of Hangman. Okay.
Hold on, let me just fix my screen here real quick. I'm gonna put that right there. Oh yeah, there we go. Alrighty, Phil. So, what's your first letter gonna be?
You know, just like Wheel of Fortune, they give you in the bonus round, man. They go RSTLNE. Let's start with that R, dude.
Alright, let's see what we have. You got one R!
I got one R. Do I need to buy the vowels or can I just guess them?
No, you can just guess it. You can just guess the
Let
vowels.
me have an A.
An A? Let's see what you got for A. You got one A!
Wow. What about an O?
What about an O? Let's see if you got an O.
All
Oh, look
right,
at
let's
all
get.
those O's. You got
I know that's a
one,
lot of
two,
O's.
three, four. You got 4 O's.
So I'm gonna go with the F right now, you know, because that looks logical.
Alright, going with the F. Look at that. You got 2 F's.
All right, so I already know the start of this. So we're gonna go with the E right now so we can fill in down there a little more.
Alright. Oh, look at all those E's, man. Whew.
That's a lot of E's, dude. So let's go with a T.
Go with the T. Alright. Look at that. You got 2 T's.
Let's
Phil,
go
you're
with,
killing it. You know how much money you can be making right now?
I know, man. But watch, I'll probably blow it. So let's go with an N.
Go with an N. Let's see if we got an N in here. And holy shit, you got a lot of N's.
That's a lot of N's, dude.
1, 2, 3. We got 4 N's.
Let's get a B in there.
A B. All right, let's see. And you got your first. You got the circle.
No. Okay. All right. So we will. Let's go with a U because that's there.
All right, you're gonna buy a view. U. There you go. Look at that. You got one U.
Let's go with a W.
Go with a W. Let's see here. For W, you got. There it is. You got 1. You got 2. You got 2 of them.
Let's go with an I.
Going with an I. I think that's your last vowel. You sure you want to buy
I think
that,
so.
Phil?
I do. I would love to have bought an I in retrospect too. Oh my god.
we got 2 I's.
Okay, let's go with an L.
Go with the L. All right, let's see if we got an L in here. And yes, we do. We got an L.
All right, let's see the board. What do I got left on the board down there, man?
All right, so your letters you do have
Let's
left.
go with H.
Go with an H. All right, let's see here. We got the H in there. Look at that. You spelt out Wheel of Fortune.
I know that's kind of funny, right, dude? Let's go. What do we get left down there, man? Let me see down there. Let's go with an M.
Go with an M. All right, let's see here. And
Oh,
yep,
no.
you got an M.
Okay, a win on Wheel of Fortune. Oh God! All right, go back down. Let me go with the S. Why not?
Go with the S. All right. And yep, you got an S in there.
All right, let's go with C.
Go with the C. Oh yeah, there you go.
And let's go with a K to finish it out. And I'd like to solve the puzzle. It's chicken cost me a win on Wheel of Fortune, and that is very true. It most
There it
certainly
is.
did.
Look at you, Phil. You did it. You accomplished something. There it is.
Ah, it's so true. I mean, but honestly, if KFC is listening, Popeyes, I mean, I'm an equal opportunity chicken lover. So, if you guys want to, send anything my way, just let me know. I'd love to talk.
Chicken cost me a win on Wheel of Fortune. You knew I had to get that rib in there, man.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Dude, I know I'm never gonna live it down, so I might as well just lean into it, man.
Absolutely. But is there anything else you want to say, like on the special extra episode here on the We Are Wrestling podcast?
Honestly, man, I just want to thank everybody for watching it, being so cool about it, giving me shit about it, talking about it, like all the people covering it. Like it's pretty neat, man. It's a pretty cool feeling. It still feels a little surreal. Um, I think I won more losing than I ever would have won winning.
Hell yeah, you got to keep your head held high, man. And like I said earlier, you should be really proud of yourself. And this is something that you're going to be able to look back at years from now and say, wow, I really did this. And you got to live life to the fullest. Like, that's like one thing that I made that decision after the whole lockdown and the whole pandemic thing. Because normally, like, I would go to wrestling shows in like my area, but then like when things finally started to open back up and we started to live this new normal life, I decided like I need to go out and experience things. I need to go to wrestling conventions, Comic Cons, and go to like AEW and WWE shows. And you just gotta live life to the fullest, and that's all you can really do because life is too short.
Amen, man. Life is too short, dude. And just lean into it, man. Do the thing. Life's way too short not to, dude. Like, enjoy the people you love. Tell them you love them. Money goes away, but like that love stuff, man, that lasts forever, man. Like
Yep,
I,
money
I'll
can't
never
buy
forget.
happiness.
I mean, it can help. It can help a little
Well,
bit. Like
obviously
I'd
it can
like,
help.
but yeah, man. Like as cliche as it sounds, man. Like the people in my life made me rich in different ways. I mean, Wheel could have made me rich in another way, but chickens kind of messed that up, and it was a little bit thrilling on that express. I'll say that. But like I said before, Bob Marley isn't the only one with a redemption song, because I will be back on Wheel of Fortune, hopefully with Mickey Mouse. No, I'll just say it again, with Mickey Mouse, and I'm gonna spin that wheel, and I'm gonna get to the bonus round this time, and I may blow it, but I'm coming back and I'm gonna win a little bit more, and I'm not gonna say chicken this time unless it's actually in the puzzle.
So wait, who's that guy's name that was next to you?
I think Matt.
Matt? Well, Matt, he owes you a lot of money because you really helped him on that episode.
He's good people, dude. He was such a nice guy, man. That's a big thing too. Shout out to all my Mickey Secret Santa fellow contestants, man. We get to spend the day together, dude. They're great people. We have a group chat going on Instagram right now, dude. And I joined the Wheel of Fortune alumni page now on Facebook. So shout out to those guys too. Little bit of updates on me. Other than breaking the news with you today, I will be on Mass Appeal Friday, December 27th at noon, live in studio on WWLP to go over all of this one more time with them, because the era of the thrilling chicken is real.
And of course, if you guys want to go follow We Are Wrestling over on Instagram and X and Facebook, of course, we will be staying up to date with all the things going on with Phil because he is a part of the We Are Wrestling team. And we got a lot of big plans going into 2025 that we can't wait to share with you guys going into the new year. Lots of things going on behind the scenes. And what a great way to end off 2024, Phil.
Right, man? Like that's ending 2024 good right there, man. Like the last half of my year in 2024, I had some of the hardest things I've ever had to deal with, but I also had some of the most amazing things happen, man. Like fell in love, went to Disneyland, met like Blink 182, WrestleMania. Like I was a thrilling chicken, man. Like it was pretty great. And more importantly, like my heart's in better condition. I can now live a little bit more like easier and a lot longer, hopefully. And I'm ready to see what's next, dude. And I'm coming back to wheel. I'm determined.
Hell yeah, man, and I can't wait to see that day happen. But to all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs out there, let us know in the comment section below your thoughts on this extra. If you guys want us to do more things like this, we're always looking to do new things here on the We Are Wrestling Network. If you guys enjoyed this, make sure to smash that like button now. 1 like equals 1 prayer for Phil, because he's going to have to live with being a chicken for the rest of his life. If you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac, you already recommend you guys to hit that subscribe button now, turn on the post notifications. It's Christmas week, and we do have lots of awesome content coming out of nowhere, like an RKO. The link's down in the description below. You can go follow Phil and myself over on our social medias and all our other adventures and stuff going on. You can go support us down there in the links in the description box below. But of course, to all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide, and to all the Disney dads out there, we are taking over. Peace.
We are Wrestling Extra.